You're listening to the Men's Dating Mastery Podcast with host Alec Chase, bringing you the experts in dating, sex, and relationships.
Welcome to the introductory episode of Men's Dating Mastery Podcast. My name is Alec Chase, and I am the host of this show. This is going to be a short episode in which I'm going to tell you what the show is about, what to expect from it going forward, and who it's meant for. I'll also tell you a little bit about myself and how I became the host. Simply put, Men's Dating Mastery, or MDM as I like to call it, is an interview-based podcast dedicated to helping men achieve their goals in dating, sex, and relationships. Every Wednesday, I will release a new episode featuring an interview with a different subject matter expert. These experts will provide intellectually stimulating insights as well as practical advice that you can use to make improvements in this area of your life. In fact, every episode will conclude with at least one tangible and actionable piece of advice. Some of the episodes that I have already recorded and will be releasing over the next few weeks include interviews with dating and relationship coaches, a sexologist, a PhD resident in clinical psychology, a men's coach, and style consultants, among others. Together, we cover topics such as overcoming fear of rejection, commitment issues, sex, evolutionary psychology and how it impacts modern-day mating practices, how to approach women, the role of clothing and style, and many, many others. I must point out that this podcast does not subscribe to any particular philosophy or worldview. And I certainly don't try to preach anything onto you. There's no hidden agenda. Instead, the aim of this show is to seek out as many different expert opinions, insights, and actionable advice in order to uncover the truth, wherever it may lie. I may even provide opposing opinions from different experts from time to time, in order to give you a balanced perspective. As such, no topic is off the table, and all perspectives are welcome, so long that they stand to enrich the lives of men and do so with integrity and without malice towards others. Although a lot of people have expressed interest in topics already covered by MDM, and everyone is welcome, the podcast was created with a very specific audience in mind. It is intended to serve the needs of heterosexual men who want to get better in this area of their lives. However, these men are not just looking for techniques and routines. Instead, they're introspective and understand that in order to achieve fulfilling and sustainable results in this area of their lives, they need to do it through personal growth. Knowledge of women is definitely very important, and there's certainly a place for rules and techniques, particularly in the beginning. But it is understood that the greatest value will come from cultivating the best version of yourself. With that kind of discernment, these men do not fall for manipulative marketing tactics that attempt to exploit their insecurities with promises of quick fixes and Will Chamberlain-type lifestyles. They're intelligent and they understand that they can do better, whatever their personal goals may be. However, they also know that their level of success is directly correlated with the knowledge that they acquire and, more importantly, put into practice. It is also important to note that these men do not bear any resentment towards women. They do not walk around with a chip on their shoulder. They understand and accept that they alone are in control of the quality of their lives and do not hold women accountable for whatever misfortunes they may have endured in their past. If you feel like all this describes the kind of man that you are, then this podcast is definitely for you. That's you. Now, to briefly tell you about me. I have lived and traveled around the world. In fact, I lived in many countries across 3 different continents. This experience taught me to emphasize with people from different walks of life, and it probably has a lot to do with why I've always enjoyed helping others. In fact, my favorite jobs and the ones that I was best at usually involved helping others. Professionally, though, I worked in finance. Like so many young professionals, I was caught up in climbing the corporate ladder and pulled as many as 80 to 100 hours a week. You can imagine my personal life, let alone my dating life, was totally neglected. That was until one night while I was still at the office for 48 hours straight, I blacked out on the bathroom floor from exhaustion. And yes, you heard that right. 48 hours straight at the office. This incident forced me to reconsider the importance of other areas of my life, and I ended up resigning. Following that, I put all my energy into bettering myself as a person, which of course included my dating life. While on this path, I met some like-minded guys, and through my interactions with them, as well as through my own experiences, I began to realize that despite all the stuff that was already out there for men, there was a large group of guys who were still being left out. On the one hand, these guys did not feel like they fit in with the pickup community. On the other hand, mainstream dating advice was not effective. Sadly, even the products and services that would have served them well were not reaching these guys because the marketing did not resonate with them. I became passionate about the topic and dedicated my time towards creating a resource that would be a platform for the true experts in dating, sex, and relationships to speak to these guys. And to do so in a way that respected their intelligence, did not try to exploit their insecurities, gave them real insights that actually worked, and did so without compromising their integrity and without malice towards others. That is how I came up with Men's Dating Mastery. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions about how this show can serve you better, if you'd like to recommend a guest, or even if you just want to say what's up, you can email me directly at alec@mensdatingmastery.com. That is Alec with a C. I love getting emails and listener feedback, and I reply to every single email personally. You can also go to mensdatingmastery.com, where you can find all the podcast episodes, read my blog, find all the social media links, and subscribe to the newsletter to keep abreast of the latest content from MDM. And you don't need to be concerned about subscribing. I don't spam. I don't share your information with anyone. In fact, I really don't send that many emails at all. The most likely scenario in which you are going to hear from me is if I put out some great new content that I think will be beneficial to you and that you would not want to miss. Finally, if you like what you hear, please subscribe and leave a 5-star rating along with a positive review in iTunes or in whatever your favorite podcast directory is. That makes more of a difference towards making this show better than you might think. And with that, enjoy the podcast.
Thank you for listening to Men's Dating Mastery, a podcast dedicated to improving the lives of men and the women around them.